So, you've probably heard of Pusheen before, adorable little gray internet cat. It has tons of different forms and iterations, one of the best of which is Super Pusheenicorn, an adorable little unicorn cat hybrid thing with wings. It's adorable. Stitch & Story recently made a crocheting kit for it. Note crochet, not knitting, and I'm kind of mainly a knitter, but I decided to give it a shot. So here, I'm working on the tail. And you can't see it, but I've started and restarted the tail many times before this point. Like I said, I haven't really done a lot of crocheting. I've always been more of a knitter, but I'm learning. And one of the things that you also didn't see is before I started this video, I had already finished almost completely this project once over. But I realized towards the end of it that it wasn't looking right. And it wasn't necessarily looking wrong, it just didn't quite fit together the way the picture showed it. I could tell that it was kind of off. And so I did some digging into it and realized that Stitch & Story was a UK company, which longtime crocheters are probably rolling their eyes, realizing what I'm about to say. And yeah, so UK uses the same abbreviations for crocheting patterns that America does, just in different ways. So like, the single crochet for them is abbreviated the same way we abbreviate the double crochet. And that's where I went wrong. It was a UK pattern, and so I Americanized it and did it entirely wrong. So I had to take it out and restart, and that's what you're seeing now. Lesson learned. But all that being said, I really enjoyed crocheting. Like I said, I'm mostly a knitter, but it was actually a lot of fun, and it's very different, very three-dimensional, and I'm used to the two-dimensionalness of knitting. So when I started crocheting, I thought it was going to be pretty similar to knitting, but it's really not. It's very different. But still very relaxing, and something I can see myself doing a lot of in the future, so you're probably going to see a lot more crochet projects soon. But anyway, enough stories of me messing this up. It turned out really well. I'm actually very happy with it. You can see I've got the horn and the ears and the tail and the mane and the body already finished, and right now I'm working on the wings. But with knitting, what I've done in the past when it comes to making plushies has been a lot of knitting a lot of different parts and pieces and then stitching them together at the end, which you still do for crocheting, but it feels very different. Like I said, crocheting is very three-dimensional and knitting is very two-dimensional. So it's a lot easier to get the nice sizes and shapes and the definition that you really want to have with a plushie like this. So I'm really happy with how it turned out, especially for one of my first times. If you see me doing a lot more crocheting in the future and eventually I get more confident in it, I might do some tutorials, but probably not anytime soon. Especially after the whole UK-American mix-up that was honestly written on the pattern, but anyway, I'll recover. Here I'm starting on what I was telling you about a minute ago, where you stitch the different pieces onto the product, and that was actually a lot of fun. Normally that's one of my least favorite parts of a project, because it's kind of like you're just trying to get to the end and you want to have it done and you've already done all the stitching that you really enjoy. But it was kind of different for crocheting. I actually saw this as like a part of making it, and I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I think it helps that the stitches were very defined with this yarn, and that was nice. I'm used to working with very small, very faint yarn that is kind of hard to see the stitches for when you get to a final project like this. But with the yarn that I was using here, it was very bulky, so it was very easy to see the stitches. So I had a really easy time putting it together and actually had a lot of fun with it. The normal Super Pusheenicorn has white wings and a white horn, but I wanted to mix up the colors. I thought it'd be more fun. I had plenty of yarn, I just thought this would look cute. Yep, you're probably going to start seeing a lot more crocheting projects. I'd really like to get better, and then like I said, maybe eventually I'll do a tutorial, but if I do, it's going to be a long time in the future. Who knows, maybe Stitch and Story will sponsor me by then. I really like the little touches that the Pusheen pattern had. It really brought the project together, having the stripes and the moon and little pieces like that. Often it's the small details that really make a project. You can kind of tell it's a first for me. I haven't done a ton of crocheting, but it still looks really good. And for a first time project, I'm really happy with it. Thank y'all so much for watching. Please like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you want to see more, and comment if you have any questions. Oh, and you can follow my Instagram account, and I also have a Facebook.